To correct, it was not muted. This scene didn't have my mic set. OBS is funny. Anyway, thank you all so much for being here today and continuing with us for Feed the Kids 2021. I'm LRock617, continuing our ninja block, here today with the Ninja Kids. This is a game I actually learned the 1 credit clear for about a couple months ago, and given the content, I thought it was perfect for an event like this, so I wanted to showcase it for you all. I was actually introduced to this game by RGL's own The 3-2, who you see there in chat, but the strats are primarily due to legendary speedrunner Josh the Funk Doc, who ran this at the 2018 Coin-Op Classic. Picked up a lot of stuff from him, and turns out there's a lot of people that have actually put the time into running it. But today we're not doing a speedrun. Speedruns are about 10 minutes faster than what I go with. I prefer safe strats because I like to see this game to the end. So let's go ahead and pop in our credits. Time's going to be starting on character selection. The only character that matters to us here is Akane, aka the Red Ninja, so we'll go ahead and pick him at 3, 2, 1, go. I've never even really put the time into the other characters. Some hot jams to start us off. First of all, for those that don't know, play Taito games. Taito games are really good. Second of all, this game is a clear ripoff of some other arcade games that people might have seen, but I think it works despite that. We're going to be playing as Akane, who has by far the most busted moveset. He's the only character in the game who has a projectile, which means we can just get away with all kinds of really dumb things, like, oh, I don't know, zoning, where characters can't really interact with us. We also have access to power-ups. Power-ups are really busted, but unfortunately, they're also inconsistent. The reason I say that is because any item you break that could drop a power-up may not drop a power-up. It might drop a score item. It might drop a health item. Technique you're going to be seeing me do a lot is the jumping, I guess we'll call it just the spread shot. It's just a jump attack. Reason we do this, the jump in this game is completely invincible. So if we're doing this, we get to go away with a lot of stuff. I'm getting hit a lot and I really shouldn't be. That was bad. Let's see if I got any health in here. Not so much. Get to move on though. Alright, so our health's looking kind of low. Don't love that. Let's see if I can find some here. As mentioned before, similarly to power-ups, health is also completely random. We may see some, we may not. That'll help though. Nice little invincibility power-up here. Still no luck. Okay, so I'm gonna do a bunch of jump stuff here. As long as I time everything correctly, I shouldn't be getting hit. Those knives are a real threat. They can actually hit us on any plane where the knife would touch. They could be like a full character size below us, and those knives can still touch us. I'm gonna try to be super safe here. Break this last thing, see if we get a health up, but not. Okay, so this boss fight can go one of two ways. I'm hoping it goes plan A, and I don't have to go to backup plans. If he stays in the top pixel, we can finish it out like this. Did get a lot of scrolls though, so I will be able to use some magic, which is nice. Time this out and stay in quiet mode for now. Go ahead and drop this for some damage. We can't carry over scrolls to the next stage, so I might as well use them or lose them, right? Good fight though. That was actually really lucky because if the fight drags on, what he can do is he can summon some wolf cubs that can attack you, and they're completely uninteractable. Like, you just actually can't hit them or stop them, and they do some really annoying damage. And when we're at 1 health, we have to be really cautious of stuff like that. Okay, so stage 2. This is actually one thing that our Red Ninja friend is actually not good at, is this particular segment. He really doesn't have a good way of interacting with enemies that pop out of windows, and that's especially a hazard for those that pop out from underneath, which you saw happen at like the very start of it. Also, those spiders are completely invincible. We can't even interact with them. Stop that, please. Thank you. Okay, so good news is we made it to the top. Now we got these Arnolds to deal with. First thing we're gonna do is venture all the way to the left, because there's a chance for power-ups over here. I'm busting up with these water coolers. Time stop is pretty good, and we got an invincibility power-up too. If we didn't have either one of those things, we'd be doing the exact same thing. These guys cannot function against zoning. Lots of this. They get close, I'm just gonna jump to the other side, which is, as mentioned before, completely invincible, and they can't stop us. Also, I've started doing this thing where I try to think of like what song I think of when I think of a game, and for this game, this song is definitely that. Like whenever I think of Ninja Kids, this is always the song that pops in my head. All right, good rooftop. So inside we've got 4 rooms. First room's pretty simple. See someone screaming help at the door. I'm actually gonna ignore that. Reason being is the doors are completely random. We might get a power up, we might get another enemy. The difference between getting one or the other is pretty wild in terms of like how we're gonna progress. Also, this guy with the Molotov cocktails, I want to make sure I can take care of it as quickly as I can. I did not want to get hit by that. Reason is because those fire bombs that he drops do good damage, and they're very active. That was unfortunate. I'll finish from here, though. Okay. All right, moving down. This is the hardest room in the stage. These guys have a really, really fast melee attack they do when they descend on you, and it's honestly kind of hard to react to, so our invincibility is going to have to carry us. Really don't want to be over this far, but if I move to the left too quickly, then I'm going to get smothered, and nobody wants that. Still ignoring the door. As you can see, when he throws those bottles airborne like that, if I'm able to intercept one while airborne, then it completely disintegrates, and that just shows off how the invincibility works. Come here, please. Thank you. I think we are going to have some more enemies to get to the door. Okay, so they all swarm us over there. That's good. This last room is pretty similar to the first room. These enemies have very slow startup on their attack speed, so we're just going to do jump abuse. I also utilize quite a bit of high jump there. Whenever you do your jump attack, you descend immediately, so that puts you on the ground to be able to jump again and then attack again. Utilize that quite a bit. I'd love to scour around for some health, but it's not really worth it. Okay, good. If you jump high enough, you can actually get 2 attacks on those guys. They take the hit, and as soon as they land, they get hit again. Pretty nice. All right, I'm gonna look around for some health. Last room for a boss, but we'll get to him shortly. Whoa, do not want to get hit by these melee. I would very much like to be able to bust open these statues for health, but they're definitely impeding my safety, so I'm just gonna do my best to try to go after them, but also respect their range. Come on. That's not good. Definitely did not want to take that hit. Power-up's nice. At least this way I'm shielded from them approaching. Try and bust this open before I finish off the last guy. Okay, no health, so that's not great. Thankfully, the boss is the easiest in the game. But it's still there's still potential to mess this up. I'm still gonna try and not get hit. He's gonna lob some fireballs in the air, and I'm gonna do my best to make sure I can intercept them when they go airborne. Just call him frag after the Marvelous 2 enemy, because that's exactly what it looks like. As you can see, with the jump being invincible, I'm just intercepting all these fireballs that would be falling on me, and they're just not doing anything. Some interesting programming decisions. Like, I've never played a beat 'em up with invincible jump before outside of this one, so it's quite the unique benefit we have here. All right, good fight. Another clincher. Turn the volume up just a little bit. Hope y'all don't mind. Okay. There's a chance that might stay. I didn't want to press escape because I didn't want to double press it. Okay, so start of stage 3, we're going to be seeing some zombies. Did not want to take that hit. Another one of those random segments. If you get a power up like right at the start, this part is easy, breezy, beautiful, but you don't always get that. They get a health up though, which is nice. The barrels you have to get out of the way of as soon as they get ready to explode. Okay, cool, got a power up. I'm just gonna swarm this clown. Again, really sorry about the volume disappearing there. So there's an exploit we can do here. If I go all the way to the left, there would normally be some enemies that spawn there, but as soon as I go there, they won't appear. Pretty nice. Gonna do a quick thing where okay, whatever. All right, there we go. Sorry, I wanted to pause it to make sure I get rid of that. Appreciate everybody's patience. Okay, another quick exploit where I'm gonna just be avoiding some enemies. These guys are a bit of a nuisance. I used to do this strat where I would take them into the next section with the mini boss. Don't really do that anymore because that just becomes way too hazardous, so I'm just gonna take them out here. Don't even mind the zombies are creeping in. They're not a huge threat. I'm more concerned about the bullets than anything. That was unfortunate. Bust this open. Yeah, I did that to try to see if I can get some health. So we have another Arnold enemy. This guy can be pretty annoying. He, I mean, he succumbs to the same air attacks that we do against everybody else, but he does have one distinct advantage, and that's that a lot of his attacks have armor, particularly the kick and the wind-up punch, which are, like, incidentally his two best attacks. Did not want to get hit there. Cool. That was actually good for a full health. That was very, very lucky. Do a bunch of this. Nice. Okay, so some more dodging of enemies. We're gonna jump this barricade. Dash is pretty safe when going from section to section because it does have a hitbox. You can be hit out of the landing frames of it, which is actually happened to me quite a bit, but I think it is the best thing to utilize to try to get from segment to segment. Do a lot of more zombie killing before we get our boss. Okay, so this boss is kind of a tool, as evidenced by the power loader he's operating. The fight has 3 phases. First one starts with both arms. He has pretty decent melee here, but because of the way the jump attack works, we shouldn't be getting hit by it. We should be doing a lot of this. Second phase is when he gets down to 1 arm. And this is where things start to get important with his jump. His jump is it's pretty annoying. When he lands on the ground, that actually does damage like a ground pound would. And the less arms he has, the less weight he has to carry with the power loader. Therefore, as he takes more hits, he actually becomes faster. You can see his jump is excessively quick now. So I'm having to make sure I'm mindful of that so he doesn't land when I land. All right. Got that clean fight there, not bad. Move us on to round 4. We'll be seeing a lot more of that guy. That guy is such a weird enemy in this game because we start out the stage fighting palette swaps of him, but he's also the boss of the stage. Spoiler. Didn't want to get hit there, but the power-up's good. It's also good for taking all this out. Time stop reasonable. I did get some health though, so that's good. Actually, time stop's not great here because this does prevent enemies from spawning, but it'll be fine. At least now I know where they're all coming from. Nice. Zombie aliens? Not quite, but we are going into space. A quick doppelganger room. I haven't talked too much about the power-ups because they happen so quickly. This is, however, one of the better ones. The only downside of this one is we really don't have any control of our character's movement outside of how fast we go. And you think, like, say, like, whoa, shouldn't that be enough? Like, well, technically, but you can't jump, which means you can't really reliably hit enemies that are airborne. Another climb section. This one's actually quite a bit more aggravated than the previous because of the bombs, but... yeah, I should have done that. This one gets really hazardous if you have one enemy appear right after the other. Didn't happen to us, but we still got bomb controlled, so, you know. Alright, so for our boss, first thing I'm going to do is let all these goons spawn. There should be like 7 or 8 of them. We'll go ahead and unleash the scrolls. Take them out, get him to spawn. So this might start to remind you of a boss fight in another game featuring ninjas. Also, the fact that I'm taking damage isn't the most relevant thing ever because I've never finished this fight without a death for one reason or another. So anyway, here we start to see some shredder tactics. So he's just going to clone himself. He's going to do it a lot. I think we have to fight as many as 5 or 6 of these jerks on screen at once. I have done this segment deathless, which I did in that time, but the reason that's significant is because even if I were to just like not take any damage there, there's still an invisible timer for this game, meaning that if you spend too long on a stage on a single life, the game sends an obstacle after you that's invincible and kills you. So you have to either anti-invincible it or you take a death. One or the other. I actually was reminded of that while de-rusting this game a couple days ago. I completely forgot about the timer. Okay, so now that we're down to 1v1, this fight actually becomes significantly easier. What he's gonna do is he's gonna teleport, I'm gonna hit him, then he's gonna teleport again, and this is just gonna loop until the fight's over. For optimization of speed, I just always have to make sure I'm on his spawn point, so I'm just gonna camp like crazy. Anyway, for about the death, one upside of this game, you start the game with 4 lives. Also very uncommon for arcade beat-em-ups. You don't really retain a lot of health or life per life, which I guess is the trade-off of it. You only have 5 HP per life. Very unfortunate hit to take there. We should be okay. Yeah, this one kind of drags on a bit at times. Okay, cool. As I said, the death is expected. Unfortunate, but expected. Alright, on to our last stage. And I believe someone asked about zombie aliens. Not quite there yet, but we do have zombie Arnolds, so I hope that's good enough for you all. Appropriately creepy music. Go, dash up, please. Thank you. Okay, so this part's kind of weird. Like, we have these dudes that are dancing around the middle like crazy. By all accounts, I could just keep avoiding them, but as it turns out, we actually have to kill a certain number of them in order to be able to proceed the stage, so I'm going to do as many of these jump shots as I need to. I think that should be enough. And from here, I can just repeat the stage 2 rooftop tactic of just zoning these guys out. They really can't approach me. And this is why the Red Ninja is the best character. It's really dumb. Going on Double Chan, fellow arcade enthusiasts. Alright, moving on down. Ooh, did not want that to happen. This room is actually really difficult. These little grave crawlers are quite the nuisance. In most cases, I got a busted power up to help me out, but their hitboxes are pretty fast. As in, like, when they approach you, that with which they can touch you with happens very, very quickly. And getting touched by them is obviously no bueno. We have to kill a certain number of enemies to advance. We definitely have to kill all of these guys that, you know, would end up being headless, the yellow shirts, as it were. Treat it like Next Generation in that regard. And then after that, we had to kill a specific number of these grave crawlers in order to be able to advance. Okay, they're not quite done yet. That air attack they do is actually pretty hazardous, but not too hard to avoid, thankfully. Their jump attack, we've got quite a bit to do. Okay. On to inside the old cathedral. Managed to get some health, which I didn't need, and a scroll there, so not too bad. As much like with any item, scrolls are random, but they're really useful to have because they allow us to use magic. Magic in this game is really overpowered. We can have any number of scrolls, I believe. I've had as many as 11 at a time, but when you use magic, you only use 4 scrolls for a given attack at most. If you have less than 4 scrolls, you just cash out as many as you can. But if you have more than 4, then it only cashes out 4 and you get the most powerful attacks. Altar here. Cool, I got a power up. Nice. A couple of these guys. Used to have a lot of problems with these guys until I watched the world record and got a pretty decent strat out of it. Previously, what I would do is when I did jump attacks, I would throw the stars as soon as I ascended, but it's actually correct to do it on your descent. Alright, for the penultimate room prior to our final boss, we got these skeletons. These guys are not difficult to deal with unless they spawn on your point, and they can and do that. Like that guy was trying to do right there. What I'm going to do is just try to switch sides and zone them out as best I can. They can't get near me, they can't do anything bad to me. Much like with most things in this game. Alright, good skulls. That'll take us on to our final boss. And our supervillains have summoned that which is known as the Satan. No, not Satan. The Satan. Who does get promptly beat out by the same jump invincibility nonsense we've been using the entire game. Thankfully. He does have some annoying attacks. Like, I didn't actually play that correctly. When he drops these, you're supposed to neutral jump, but I haven't been doing that. I'm actually gonna go ahead and unleash this for some free damage. Whoops. Oh, missed it. Best thing you can do here is just make sure you can chain together hits. When he's in hit stun, he has a really hard time hitting you. We can dodge those balls that he drops pretty easily. The biggest hazard is honestly his melee attacks. He can do like this little smack that he does to send you out of his way. That was unfortunate. But the fight's pretty much all this. Also, I do apologize for the flashing lights. It's a little bit unavoidable. As you can see, the screen desensitizes and warps even more as the fight goes on, as we're doing damage to him. Whoops, missed the timing there. A little more of this, and I think that's time. I haven't actually checked to see what end time is, but that is the final hit, so we'll call that. Not a bad fight. I think that's only my second ever deathless fight against him. It's really easy to misplace yourself when you're getting hit by this clown. Thank you, Ninja Kids, for feeding yourselves. And of course, it was a stage production the entire time because, you know, who hasn't seen that in a video game before? Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We get the stage 1 theme to close us out. This is probably my favorite track in the game, and I'm glad they reused it. Look at these dance moves. Pole dancing mofos they are. Thank you all so much for the GGs. That was actually a really good run. I was de-rusting this a couple nights ago and actually having a heck of a time, but upon watching some runs that were better than mine, I was able to pick up on some strats that significantly improved not only my awareness of what goes on in this game, but what needs to be done in order to accomplish the things you want to accomplish. Good old Muppet Kids. Good times. Once again, I must reiterate, play Taito games. They're really good. Let me get some initials in there. Gonna feed them kids. There you have it. Got that round all. Again, you all, thank you so much. Looks like up next we've got Colin Bolts with some Mystical Ninja, because I can talk today, starring Gomon. So y'all stick around, and we'll get that going for you. Take care, and thanks for being here this weekend with us.